Hi, Godzo Medicine PS4 and PS5 nowadays, Antimedic Maniac YouTube. So I put on a random game which was on the top of my pile. I haven't played in a while to embarrass myself and play it badly while I talk about my local game shop closing down. So in my town right now, there's no proper game shop that sells new games in my town. None. Supermarkets might sell games, they're not a place that I frequent for games. I don't. And Argos moved out of town some years ago, and it's a fair old walk now to where it relocated next to another supermarket somewhere. So I suppose we'll have to get a bus or something up there to go game shopping for new games. There are second-hand game shops in town. Ultimately that will be a knock-on effect because second-hand game shops rely on new games, and I know people can order them online, but that's a large part of why game shops, physical game shops, are, not finding it good in a high street. Many high street stores are going. In my town over the years, it's nothing like it used to be. There's more coffee shops. I don't bother going to coffee shops because I'll let you in on a little secret. You can choose the coffee that you buy in the shop, a supermarket or whatnot, and you can make it cheaper at home and have a nicer cup of coffee with some biscuits that you buy on a deal or whatever else. It's just a lot better. Why do you need to sit with a load of people paying extortionate prices for a cup of coffee that you didn't make to your taste? Why do you need to do that? You don't. I don't. So yeah, many stores have found it tough on the high street, especially in these times of manufactured crisis. There's a lot of lies that I don't believe from our governments right now. A lot of lies. It doesn't take 2 minutes to go on other platforms to find out what's really going on. It doesn't. And ultimately what happens is, with lots of different shops, different types of shops, affect our lives because they just go from our high street, and it forces people to find other means of getting goods and things that bring joy to their life, or that they require in their life, needs and stuff, in different methods. And one of the methods that's being pushed a tremendous amount is online. It's a created normal, and what a created normal is something done on purpose that's then accepted as normal. So for example, direct debit. It's cheaper to pay by direct debit than it is paying a bill over the counter. Getting a bill sent to you through your door in the post and paying it over the counter. Now, why is it cheaper for direct debit? Because companies want to force direct debit, so they make it cheaper. If you go to somewhere like GB News on YouTube, there's been a lot of discussion about direct debit lately, and I'd encourage you to have a look. I'm a staunch stickler for physical shops, physical media, and physical cash. But the normal that they want to create is digital, and no physical stores, and no physical cash. And that's not tinfoil hat. That's happening. Our high streets are vastly different to what they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. Vastly different. And the other created normal, the other normal that they're creating is They do cheaper things online for games, for example. They do cheaper things online for other things, and they say, well, we can have a bigger warehouse for our stock, and it's cheaper than renting shops, you know, on the high street and what have you, and so it's cheaper for you to buy goods online. And then our physical shops go. I've been shopping at Game since it was called Electronic Boutique. I've been shopping at independent game stores before that in Leeds when I was Commodore 64. And one of the things that I find about that is, because that's been my hobby for many, many years, is that I'll get to know people who work there. I'll have chats with them. In some cases become, on friendly terms. And they'll know that I'm a collector, I'm a games collector, so I've got a lot of different formats and a lot of different games and a lot of different rare games, and I'm going to go down this morning and pick up a rare game that I've seen for my GameCube collection from a different shop, from a second-hand shop, because I do that, and I've always done that. Games are a big passion of mine. If you get a film buff, they're a film buff, and they take it, and they do film critiques and book critiques. If you're a book, connoisseur, if you're a music connoisseur, you have a, what's the words? You're held in sort of higher regard in society. If you put game on the end of something, if you're a game, or in the beginning, if you prefix critique with game, you're a video game critique. It's not as, you don't have that kind of, society image of stature, do you? But it's an art form media. It's an accepted cultural, society media. I know they're fiddling with it, like they're fiddling with the content of films and stuff in these political agenda days. They are, and it's a concern. If you watch Critical Drinker, I remember a video he did a while ago about the editing of films, the sinister editing that they're doing, tailoring films to fit into a political agenda for another created normal. When I talk about created normals and stuff, I talk about it from a position of knowledge and experience, because my experience and background comes from a lifetime of experience having been raised in a cult. So I had to deconstruct the psychological control mechanisms, and I worked with a professor in psychology for the best part of 10 years. He became my friend and sadly passed away a year or two ago, and I miss him greatly. We could have had some great discussions about what's going on, but I speak of created normals from a position of knowledge and experience. I see things in the world that are happening, and I see the rhetoric, and I'm able to look at the rhetoric, the dialogue, and pick out the control mechanisms. I could do many videos about this, to do with things like climate change, for example, which has identifiable control mechanisms in it, and it is exactly the same structure. If I was to sell you a cult, it's exactly the same thing. And yet I read or I hear the other day they're going to be doing climate lockdowns. How do you feel about that? Being locked down for climate instead of being locked down for something else. Which happened, that happened. So yeah, my game store closed down, and it shows the landscape of what's going on right now. Another reminder. I mean, Debenhams went, Woolworths went a while ago. These same people that are orchestrating this, energy crisis and this financial crisis, which is manufactured, these same people are orchestrating that, orchestrated the bank's collapse a few years ago. You know, we're not stupid. We know what's going on. You know, I can see politicians speak, I can dissect it, I can deconstruct it, and I can decode it. It's really, really easy, you know. And these people need to know that we are not thick. We are not blind. We know what's going on. But for me and my daughter, in a town where we live, like I say, there is no designated shop that sells new video games now. One of the things I see happening is the retro market price is spiking for a variety of reasons. I see this happening. Obviously these people want to destroy our economy because they want to change the normal and create a new normal. And that is actually on one of their YouTube sites. You can go and have a look at it. On the World Economic Forum site, they want to create a new normal. How do you feel about climate lockdowns? How do you feel about lab-grown meat and eating insects? How do you feel about that? You know, because that's what they're pushing on their YouTube channel, and you can go and have a look at it. So, yeah. I just thought I'd make this video because I think it's sad. The acceptance of online, the acceptance of digital, where everything can be tracked. Everything. And I've been sticking up for physical shops and physical media and physical cash for a long time. But, you know, one person is not enough. I know there are other people out there who do the same thing, but in the normal that is being created, it's a created normal because most people think it's normal that we are going down the digital route, that they're pushing online stores, that it's cheaper. Well, it's cheaper. I get my stuff from Amazon because it's cheaper. I get my stuff from this. I'm not paying store prices. Well, now I don't. My friends in the GameStop shop have lost their jobs. Well, it's their fault because their prices were too high. Let me tell you a fact about Game. When Games took over GameStation and they had problems, it wasn't of their own making. EA were to blame there, and I was told that insider knowledge by a friend I have who works at Game. Right? Game get a lot of stick, and now we don't have a shop in our town that sells new games, and I find that extremely sad. So I just thought I'd do this random upload of this random game that I'm rubbish at and I'm out of practice at. Whatever you're doing, you take care.